Hey there, this is Jeff, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. And man, I'm so glad that I woke up. Today is Sunday, and I'm so glad that I woke up today and I didn't have any regrets. Yesterday was football day, and I had my diet ginger ale and cranberry, and didn't have no regrets this morning waking up because I didn't drink yesterday, and I didn't have to run to my phone to see who I texted at 2 a.m. I didn't get in trouble. I didn't get a DUI because I didn't drink. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know I'm doing a journal. I'm fairly new in the program. This coming up week will be 5 months for me without a drop of alcohol or drugs. And I'm feeling pretty good. So I wanted to start this series young in my sobriety journey to help other people who are in the same place. And I wanted to hit on willpower and being an alcoholic. I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, you are either an alcoholic or you know somebody that's real close to you that's an alcoholic and you want to quit drinking. I'm just going to say you for now on, just because I don't know who's actually watching this. But either or. But if you're watching this, that means you're looking for answers. I actually did the exact same thing, which kind of drew me to wanting to do these videos. I am not an expert, folks. I'm an ex-drunk who is nearly 5 months sober, and I'm learning as much as I can. I'm no expert. I am working a program that is working for me, and I'm going to hit on that in just a second. But if you're good morals or good work ethics could have stopped your drinking. So if you're watching this video, you probably want to stop drinking, right? So if you had good morals, you have good work ethics, and if that was enough, then chances are you probably wouldn't be watching this video because you wouldn't need it, and you would have already stopped drinking and or using drugs. It's really comes down to the fact that, you know, we need help with our addiction, and there are reasons why, and there's chemical balances and imbalances in our brain, and so where you can have willpower, you know, I often call it white knuckling it. You can have willpower. In the mind of an alcoholic or an addict, willpower just kind of goes out the window because you're dealing with something that's very scientific. And again, I'm not a therapist and I'm not a doctor, but I have been doing some reading that makes a lot of sense because it made a lot of sense with me. But willpower just isn't enough. Just ask somebody who's relapsed. I've relapsed dozens of times over 25 years of hardcore drinking. Maybe even 100 times I've probably relapsed. And all of the times that I relapsed, I was white knuckling it. I had no kind of program. I was just trying to use my willpower, thinking the whole time that I was the exception to the rule. Every time that I relapsed, I just used my superhuman willpower to patch up mistakes I was making. And just knowing that this time I'm going to do it, but yet another failure, another attempt, and another failure. And the more research I do on this, the more I see, now here's the reason why. It's the body versus the mind. The body is telling me over here that I have a physical allergy, it's a craving. And that I can't have the first drink because then 1,000 drinks isn't enough. I will keep drinking. It's a craving. So the physical allergy now meet the mind. The mind brings this mental obsession that says, sitting there back of my brain, chattering, saying, go ahead. You know, if you take one drink in 30 seconds, you're going to feel so much better. Those shakes are going to go away. You're going to feel loose again. So it's the mind triggering the body triggering the mind, and before you know it, you're on this cycle, and it's daily, which brings apart the insanity part. So we're not the exception to the rule. Our bodies and minds are out, however, we are very much different, but there's a lot of things that are very much the same, which is why we have so many millions of people who are in addiction nowadays. So what is it? How do you solve that? I told you in the very first video that I did a few days ago, 4 days ago, because this is the fourth video I've done, and I've done one every day. So I told you in the first video that, I might say some things that you don't agree with, and that's fine. I use me as an example because that's all I know is my example. I work a 12-step program, and it has worked for millions of people over the last 90 years, about 90 years, and it's working for me. You can go on YouTube and there's plenty of videos that say how you can quit drinking without this type of recovery program, this 12-step recovery program. And I'm like, why? How about just try different things, and see what works for you. To me, this 12-step recovery program works for me. I do it now. It's not a job for me. It takes work, but it's not a job for me to want to do the 12 steps. It's actually surrendering to the fact that I can't do it by myself. Willpower is out the window. I have proven that to myself. I have a job where I base a lot of things on history of things in the marketplace. So I go by history and facts. Well, the fact is, I have proven to myself that I cannot whip this by myself, and I need help. That is the big key right there, is willingness. And I'm sure I'll be talking about only willingness in the future. But willpower, out the window. I've proven that 100 times over. It's out the window when it comes to drinking. So I needed this 12-step process, and what part of that is, and I'm going to start to get into the 12-step process in many facets of it, because step one, I could probably do 50 videos on just step one, and I haven't got there yet. But we're talking about a major problem. We're talking about 1,000,001 different things that come into play with your addiction. If you really want to quit drinking, it is such a much better way of life. This is coming from a guy who thought that I could not live without alcohol in my system. I was drinking average 40 shots of vodka a day for over 2 decades. 25 years I was a hardcore drinker. I had a systematic pour. I mentioned this on yesterday's video. I had a systematic pour that I did. It was an 8 count. That was 8 shots, and I did that 5 times a day. I was in need. I needed something in my life. And I'm just saying, for me, this works. So you don't have to rely on willpower in this thing. I mentioned earlier, there's been millions of people that have recovered. We do recover. If my 12-step program doesn't work for you, fine. Use something else, but God knows we need to get this out of our life. Here's one thing that, I get so excited about this because my life has changed so much. I always tend to talk more than what I intended to do. But I just want to leave you with something that we do recover. We can get help. And coming from a guy that was drinking 40 shots a day, the last 5 months almost have been the greatest 5 months of my life, because the peace of mind, soundness of mind is worth everything. not having to worry about crap, getting up, throwing up. All I gotta do is suit up and show up. That's all I gotta do. Once you get it, all you really have to understand, once you get the concept, and I'm going to go more into it, I'm already over 10 minutes. So once you get the concept, you'll find that it's just about relaxing. You don't have to work so hard. You don't have to beat your mind up over this thing. It's actually just relaxing, surrender, learn a few simple steps, work the steps, and then it will work. It's happening in my own life. There's so much to tell. That's why I'm going to do so many videos. But anyway, the big takeaway here, folks, is if you're watching this, there's so much to know, so much to grasp, but that's only because I'm educating myself. I'm drinking from a fire hose, but I want to give you hope that you can recover. You can get your life back. You can get your family back. Well, that might take time, depending on your situation. But you can get your health back. You can make more money. You can stop spending your money on this stupid disease. But you can get your mind back, and you can live such a more fulfilling life in the future. It's happening to me. So I'm going to leave you guys alone for now. But willpower doesn't really work, in my opinion. You need help. And we're going to talk more about that starting tomorrow, probably. So y'all have a great day. And please leave me in the comments if you got something. I'll try to answer anything that might come up. Again, I'm no expert. I'm just sharing my experience, strength, and hope. So we will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.